What's going on, knife nerds? I got the Vosteed Valkyrie here with me today. 154 cm, G10 scales, button lock, flipper tab, thumb stud, bam. Front flipper. The only thing missing is a remote control. Alright, so this is going to be a disassembly and reassembly video. So you guys know what to expect and what not to do and what to do when doing some maintenance on this guy. So T6 is all around. The only T8 is the pivot. Great thing about this knife is there's only one spacer. So not many screws to fumble with. Alright. That guy off, and now the scales. So be careful, the spring is just kind of hanging right there. You see it? Right next to my thumb. Boom. So be careful that thing doesn't go flying everywhere. Especially when you take off the scale. It's kind of ready to bounce out. So be careful. Alright. So this knife is pretty clean. I run it with zero lube, zero oil. So all I have in there is a little pocket lint, a little dust, gunk from when I used it. I had it in the rain the other week. Never cleaned it, and it looks pristine, just a little dirty. Alright, go. Boom. Easy. Boom. Pivot. Alright. Get it off. And not much to do other than wipe this down. Clean engineering. Great work, Vosteed. Right. Oh, there goes the mechanism. Trek lock. Get that stop pin out. Little spacer pin thing. And the birds are going crazy, huh? These guys don't stop talking in the morning, even through the night. Let's get everything lined up. Make sure everything's there. Make sure nothing went flying everywhere. Alright, come on. Come on. I like to line things up, or at least keep them together, so then I kind of have an idea, a little organization when putting everything back together. Some people like to put it in steps. Me, I just kind of throw it all on it. Just kind of organize it a bit. I don't need it lined up in steps. Alright, let's get this guy together. Scales, liner first. I like to put the spacer on first, just so then it kind of keeps it together. Keeps it from moving around too much. I mean, you can use the pivot screw and then attempt to put the body screw on, but sometimes that pivot screw is just gonna come fumbling out. So I like to do the spacer first. And I forgot about this pivot. I mean this button lock collar thing. Oh, let's take it apart. So don't forget, you don't want to sandwich this the plunge collar in between the scale and the liner, and then put it together. All right. So first step, make a sandwich. Right, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna want to put that ring between the scale and the liner because it has a cutout, so it fits just right. Also for this pivot, it's also a D shape, so you're gonna want the flat side to face the butt end of the knife, because the D shape is on the other liner. Stop pin. Now some people ask me which way they should put the bearings in, how they should face, and honestly I have no clue. I just make sure they're both symmetrical, so it's even. I've tried both ways, both sides, and I think it just depends on how that bearing's made. Alright, so make sure that that plunge is lined up, so when you put it in, it just falls right into that hole. Boom. Perfect. Wait, I forget. Which way was it facing? Alright, cool. So turn this guy around. Boom. Easy peasy. Yeah, I spoke a little too soon. So that pivot turned a bit, so the D shape is kind of off. Try to turn it. Yeah. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so keep it in mind, okay guys? Keep in mind that thing does turn a bit, so be sure to line it up first before you put on the other liner. And the whole time I'm also putting pressure on the other side of the pivot so it doesn't fall back out. Oh, and if the blade's moving around, make sure the plunge is pushed down. That's kind of gonna lock the blade in from moving. Alright, so the spring's on, so be gentle with this. Make sure it's lined up straight so then it doesn't push the spring out from the side. Body screw on first, so it kind of keeps it in place. Alright, keeping pressure on the pivot on the other end so it doesn't push out. Alright, so the knife seized up, so that means the spring or the plunge isn't lined up correctly. So let's back it out a bit. So let's check okay, there we go. Check it, goes in, boom. Alright, now this is where I can basically seal everything up. Alright, good. Boom, perfect. So if you guys want to skip that whole nonsense of me checking, just check the pivot and the button action before you put on the liner or the scale, just so then you can miss that headache. One thing I really like about Vosteed's design and engineering, the blade really centers easily. I don't have to, I can over tighten it, loosen it, and it just stays centered. I really, that's probably one of the biggest things that I noticed with the Vosteed is always stays centered for me while keeping great action, smooth. Boom, here we go. So this clip is probably my least favorite thing on this knife. It works, but I would rather prefer a knife that has more clearance, and with that clearance a little bit more length in the clearance, so then I have room for my pinky and my ring finger. That's where I grip the knife the most. It allows my other three fingers, or my two fingers and my thumb, more room to move, more I guess. It's just anchored in with a better clip, but it works. I just wish it was another one.